In Yakutia, water is not a convenience, it is a precious and carefully managed resource. When temperatures plunge to 71 degrees C, running water ceases to exist, and everyday life becomes a battle to obtain and preserve even the smallest amount. Residents cannot rely on taps or pipes, as any exposed water freezes almost instantly, turning a simple task like drinking or cooking into a meticulous challenge. Every morning begins with the task of collecting ice or snow from local sources. This isn't a casual chore. It requires planning and efficiency. The ice must be clean, safe for consumption, and brought inside without exposing it too long to the harsh outdoor cold, where it can become brittle or unmanageable. Once inside, the process of melting begins. Small, carefully tended fires or stoves are used to slowly turn ice into water, and the process must be monitored constantly. Too much heat can waste fuel or even damage containers, while too little leaves water frozen and unusable. Even after melting, the water is rationed carefully. Every drop counts for drinking, cooking, and hygiene, and a single miscalculation can leave a person short for essential needs later in the day. In such conditions, residents develop an almost instinctive understanding of their body's needs. They know exactly how much water is required to maintain hydration, how it affects energy levels, and how it supports bodily functions in the extreme cold. Dehydration in 71 degrees C can occur without obvious signs, slowing reflexes, reducing warmth, and making the body more susceptible to frostbite and hypothermia. Hygiene is another challenge. Even basic washing requires careful planning, using minimal water and sometimes relying on snow to supplement daily cleaning routines. Every action is deliberate, conserving precious resources while maintaining safety and health. The scarcity of water also influences other aspects of daily life. Cooking, for instance, must be timed and executed carefully. Frozen ingredients require water to thaw, and even small amounts are used sparingly to prevent unnecessary waste. The preparation of meals becomes a precise routine, blending efficiency with survival strategy. Over time, this constant vigilance becomes second nature. Residents develop a deep awareness of their environment, understanding how quickly water can freeze, how much fuel is needed to melt it, and how to manage it without endangering their daily supply. The process transforms water from a mundane element into a lifeline, and every sip, every drop, becomes meaningful. Survival in such extremes is not about abundance, it is about meticulous management, respect, and adaptation. In Yakutia, water is not something taken for granted. It is a resource earned through patience, skill, and careful attention. It is the foundation upon which life continues in one of the coldest inhabited places on Earth, demonstrating that even the simplest necessities can become extraordinary challenges in extreme environments. In Yakutia, heating is far more than a matter of comfort. It is the very difference between life and death. At temperatures that can plummet to 71 degrees C, the cold is relentless, and without a reliable source of warmth, the human body cannot survive for long. Central heating, common in most parts of the world, is often unavailable or unreliable in such extreme conditions, forcing residents to rely on stoves and fires as their lifeline. Managing these stoves requires precision and constant vigilance. Too little heat can quickly allow temperatures inside a home to drop dangerously, putting residents at risk of frostbite, hypothermia, or even death during the long dark nights. Too much heat, on the other hand, wastes fuel and can strain the delicate balance of limited resources. Fuel itself is precious and carefully rationed. Collecting it is a risky and exhausting task, often requiring trips outside in conditions so cold that exposed skin can freeze in minutes. Each log or bundle of fuel is treated with care, stored properly to prevent moisture or freezing, and added to the fire in measured amounts to maintain a steady, reliable warmth throughout the day. Nights are particularly treacherous. While the body naturally slows during sleep, conserving energy in the cold, this also leaves it vulnerable. Residents often wake several times throughout the night to check the fire, ensure stoves are operating correctly, and make minor adjustments to maintain a safe temperature. Even the smallest lapse could be life-threatening, so vigilance becomes a constant part of daily existence. Maintaining heat is not just about surviving the cold. It also impacts other critical areas of life. Water must be melted over the fire for drinking, cooking, and hygiene, and frozen food must be thawed carefully, without wasting energy or resources. The fire, therefore, becomes the center of daily life, dictating the timing and structure of nearly every activity. Mental focus is just as important as physical effort. Managing a fire for survival requires patience, foresight, and the ability to respond to subtle changes in temperature or wind. The consequences of negligence are immediate and unforgiving, reinforcing the importance of discipline and awareness. Over time, the act of maintaining heat becomes second nature, a ritual that shapes the rhythm of life in extreme cold. Residents develop an instinctive understanding of their environment, knowing how to adjust stoves, layer fuel, and monitor indoor temperature without conscious thought. Heating in Yakutia is more than a task. It is a lifeline, a discipline, and a daily test of endurance and skill. Those who master it are able to live and function even in one of the harshest climates on Earth, while failure to respect it can have fatal consequences. In this frozen landscape, warmth is survival, and maintaining it is both an art and a science that demands constant attention, careful planning, and unwavering respect for the power of the cold. In Yakutia, daily life in the dead of winter is a precise choreography, where every movement, every task, and every decision is calculated to ensure survival. At temperatures that can reach 71 degrees C, even the simplest activities become dangerous if not executed carefully. Going outside, for example, is never casual. Every trip outdoors is planned with purpose, with routes chosen to minimize exposure and tasks timed to reduce time in the deadly cold. Walking too quickly or without attention can cause frostbite on exposed skin, while overexertion can lead to sweating, which, when combined with freezing temperatures, accelerates heat loss. Residents move deliberately, layering their steps with caution, adjusting clothing, and ensuring that every exposed area is protected. Cooking is another carefully managed task. Food freezes almost instantly, so preparation requires speed, planning, and coordination with heat sources. Meals are structured to maintain energy throughout the day, and every step from thawing ingredients to heating water is timed to avoid waste and exposure. Hygiene and cleaning follow similar principles. Water is scarce, and even basic washing demands careful rationing and efficiency. Snow is sometimes used as a substitute for water, but only in ways that conserve warmth and prevent excessive energy loss. Even minor spills or miscalculations could compromise the day's water supply or force unnecessary trips outside, exposing residents to life-threatening cold. Fuel management is woven into this choreography. Firewood or other heating materials must be collected, stored, and used with precision. Trips to gather fuel are scheduled to maximize efficiency while minimizing risk, and the storage of these materials is organized so that the fire can be maintained without unnecessary effort. Nights add another layer of complexity. The body's natural defenses slow during sleep, so residents wake periodically to check stoves, adjust firewood, and ensure that the temperature in living areas remains safe. The timing of these actions is critical. Even a short lapse could allow temperatures to drop to dangerous levels. Mental focus underpins all of these actions. Life in such extreme conditions requires continuous awareness and careful decision-making. Distractions can be deadly, so routines are strict, deliberate, and repeated daily. Over time, these routines become instinctive, forming a rhythm that governs life in the frozen landscape. Residents learn to anticipate challenges, adjust their movements, and maintain energy levels through careful planning and consistency. In Yakutia, daily life is not simply about surviving the cold, it is about mastering the choreography of survival. Each step outside, each meal prepared, each fire tended, and each movement within the shelter contributes to maintaining warmth, energy, and safety. Mistakes are costly, and precision is rewarded. The extreme cold transforms routine into strategy, forcing residents to think ahead, act deliberately, and treat every action as vital. Through this careful orchestration, people manage to live, work, and function even in one of the harshest environments on Earth, proving that in extreme conditions, survival depends not only on courage but on meticulous planning, discipline, and the mastery of daily life itself. In Yakutia, surviving the extreme cold is not only a test of physical endurance but also a profound challenge to mental resilience. The environment is isolated and unforgiving, with endless stretches of frozen land and temperatures dropping to 71 degrees C. In such conditions, loneliness becomes as dangerous as the cold itself. For days, weeks, and even months, residents may see no one beyond their immediate household. The absence of human contact amplifies the mental strain, as the mind is left alone with its thoughts in a place where mistakes can be fatal. Isolation forces individuals to confront their fears, anxieties, and the monotony of a seemingly endless winter. Simple tasks that would normally be mundane take on immense significance, and the mental pressure of knowing that a single lapse could have serious consequences weighs heavily. To manage this, residents develop structured routines that provide a sense of order and control. Daily rituals, tending fires, preparing meals, maintaining equipment, become anchors in an otherwise unpredictable environment. These routines help maintain focus, prevent distractions, and provide the mental stimulation necessary to navigate the long, dark months. Speaking aloud, even if only to oneself, is a common practice. It breaks the oppressive silence, reinforces cognitive function, and helps maintain clarity of thought. Over time, this constant engagement with one's own mind fosters a remarkable level of self-awareness and introspection. Residents learn to monitor their emotional states, recognize early signs of stress or despair, and adjust their routines to maintain stability. Even the smallest achievements, successfully melting water, maintaining a steady fire, or completing a task outside, become psychologically significant, reinforcing a sense of competence and survival. Nights present a particularly challenging period for mental endurance. Darkness and extreme cold can amplify feelings of isolation, and without deliberate mental engagement, the mind may wander into anxiety or despair. Many residents wake periodically during the night, not only to tend fires or check heating systems, but also to engage the mind through small tasks or problem-solving exercises, keeping mental faculties sharp and focused. Loneliness in these conditions also fosters creativity and adaptability. Residents invent small routines, games, or self-directed projects to occupy the mind and provide a sense of purpose. Over years of living under such conditions, this combination of structured activity, self-awareness, and mental engagement becomes instinctive. People learn to embrace solitude, treating it not as a burden but as a constant companion that requires management and respect. Mental resilience becomes inseparable from physical survival. The two work together, each reinforcing the other. In Yakutia, surviving isolation in extreme cold is a discipline that is learned, practiced, and refined over time. It is not a matter of simply enduring the environment, but of actively engaging with it mentally, structuring life to maintain focus, and turning loneliness into a manageable, even productive, force. By mastering their minds as well as their bodies, residents of this frozen landscape are able to navigate the harshest conditions on Earth. Clothing or food, surviving in the extreme cold of Yakutia is not about conquering nature, but about understanding, respecting, and adapting to it. The environment at 71 degrees C is relentless and unforgiving. It punishes mistakes immediately and rewards only those who are attentive and disciplined. Residents quickly learn that attempting to fight the cold is a path to failure. Instead, survival depends on careful observation, preparation, and alignment with the rhythms of the environment. Every detail matters. How the wind shifts, how the temperature fluctuates during the day, and how snow and ice affect movement and resources. These observations inform every decision, from layering clothing to rationing fuel and planning trips outdoors. Respecting nature means acknowledging its power and limits. Even small lapses can have severe consequences. Even Small lapses can have severe consequences. A mismanaged fire, an exposed finger, or a frozen pipe can quickly escalate into life-threatening situations. Residents develop an acute awareness of the interplay between their bodies and the environment, learning to recognize early signs of frostbite, hypothermia, or exhaustion, and taking immediate steps to counteract them. Resources are managed with precision. Fuel, water, and food are never taken for granted. Every drop and every piece of wood is essential. Collection, storage, and usage are planned meticulously, minimizing waste and ensuring that essential needs are met even during extended periods of extreme cold. Over time, this careful management becomes instinctive. People develop routines and habits that allow them to respond to environmental challenges almost automatically. The body and mind learn to anticipate hazards and act preemptively, turning survival strategies into second nature. Adaptation extends beyond physical preparedness. It includes mental discipline. Extreme cold, isolation, and scarcity of resources create constant stress, which can lead to panic or error, if not managed. Residents maintain focus through structured routines, mental engagement, and deliberate decision-making. They train themselves to remain calm, patient, and methodical, even under pressure, understanding that mental lapses can be as dangerous as physical ones. Life in Yakutia teaches that survival is not about courage or brute strength alone. It is about harmony with the environment. Those who endure learn to work with the forces of nature rather than against them. They recognize that the cold cannot be defeated, but it can be respected, anticipated, and mitigated through knowledge, preparation, and careful action. This approach transforms extreme conditions from a threat into a manageable challenge. Every task, every decision, and every precaution is guided by an understanding of the environment's rules. By respecting these rules, residents are able to live, work, and thrive, even in one of the harshest climates on Earth. Their experience demonstrates a universal principle. In extreme environments, survival is earned through observation, adaptation, and disciplined respect for nature. Life at 71 degrees C is possible, not because humans conquer it, but because they learn to navigate it wisely, turning awareness, preparation, and resilience into the foundation for enduring existence.